Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Punjabi Home Chef. Today's recipe is going to be lamb with potatoes, which is also known as Aloo Gosht. Aloo Gosht, lamb with potatoes. So that's what we're going to be making today. And by the way, if you're new to my channel, please, whenever you get the opportunity, please do subscribe. That way you will receive notifications every time I put out a new recipe, so you'll always be up to date. And if you have not seen any of my old recipes, please go onto my channel, have a look at all the old recipes. I've got quite a few on there now. So that's what we're making today. Okay guys, to make our lamb curry with potatoes, we're going to need 1 kg of lamb. I've got 1 kilo of lamb there. I've got four onions, and I've got 2 large potatoes, which we're going to peel and cut into quite a few large chunks. I've got some coriander, which we're going to use at the end. I've got a whole tin of tomatoes. We're only going to use about 3/4 of that. So what we're going to do is blitz this, blend it into a nice paste. We're going to use just a little bit over half of a tin of tomatoes. I've got 2 teaspoons of garlic, 2 teaspoons of ginger in there. I've got 1 teaspoon of turmeric powder. I've got 1 teaspoon of garam masala, and I've got 1.5 teaspoons of salt, 1 teaspoon of Kashmeri chilli powder, and I've got 1 teaspoon of cumin powder and 2 teaspoons of coriander powder. And I've got around about 1 teaspoon of Tsp Methi, which we're just going to crush at the end and put that on there. Then I've got about 4 chillies. Remember, these you can adjust to your taste. If you like it hotter, you can always put more in. These again, I'm just going to finely chop, and they're going to go in there as well. And I've got 2 bay leaves, and we're going to need some water, which is going to be boiled in the kettle. As I've always told you guys, we always use hot water. So that's what we're going to need that as well. And of course, oil. We're going to be using about 3 tablespoons of oil and 1 tablespoon of ghee. So 3 tablespoons of oil and about 1 tablespoon of ghee. That's everything. So let's start cooking. Okay guys, I've got my wok heating up here. In here I've got my 40 tablespoons of oil and 1 tablespoon of ghee. So the first thing we're going to put in here are the 2 bay leaves. And I did forget to mention the cumin seeds. So I've got 1 teaspoon of whole cumin. So I do apologize, I forgot to mention that earlier on. And they'll go in there, 1 teaspoon of whole cumin seeds. Give that a little mix. Turn the heat up a little bit more. Okay, straight away goes in onions. Okay, our onion's been cooking for around about 10 minutes. I've started taking a slightly golden colour. So now it's time to add in our lamb. So there's 1 kilo of lamb going in there. All we're going to do now is cook this without the lid for approximately 10 minutes. Okay, this has been cooking for around 10 minutes without the lid, and I have been mixing it every 2 minutes. And now the next ingredient to go in here is the salt. That's 1.5 teaspoons of salt. Right after the salt, we're going to put in our ginger and the garlic. Now we're going to cook this for around 6-7 minutes. Okay guys, it's been almost 10 minutes since I put the ginger and garlic in. Now the next ingredients to go in is the turmeric powder, Kashmeri chilli powder. Cook this for about a minute. And next to go in is the cumin powder, 1 teaspoon cumin powder. 2 teaspoons of coriander powder. You turn the heat down a little bit. I'm going to cook these again without the lid for approximately 7-8 minutes. Right guys, it's been about 8 minutes and this is coming along nicely. Now the next ingredient going in is a chili. Cook that for around about 30 seconds. Straight away, the tomatoes. So basically I've decided I'm going to use a whole tin of tomatoes. I've got 1 whole tin of tomatoes just split, you know, into a nice little paste, and that goes in there. And now what we're going to do is cover this. I'm going to cover it, let it cook for around about 10 to 15 minutes. But in between, every 2-3 minutes, we're going to come back, check in on it, give it a little mix every 2-3 minutes. Okay guys, it's been about 15 minutes since I put all the ingredients in there, or since I put the tomatoes in there. So basically we're going to check it now. Yes, this is what we're looking for. I've been mixing it in between. We're looking for the release of the oil. That means basically the sauce itself is cooked. The tomatoes are cooked. Very important to let the tomatoes cook before we add the water. That's what we're going to add in next, our water. Okay, how much water we're going to add to this is approximately 4 of these cups. That's going to be 4 cups of water, hot water, remember. Okay guys, we've added the water in. Now we're going to let this cook for around a half an hour to 45 minutes. And just before the end, we're going to add in our potatoes. So there we go, that's that. I'm going to cover this. I'm going to come back to this every 5 minutes, give it a mix. Okay guys, it's been around 45 minutes since the lamb has been cooking. So every 5-10 minutes I've been mixing it. So let's have a look at what's happening here. Okay, right, the lamb is almost cooked. Yep, it's almost cooked. Now it's time to add in our potatoes. Potatoes go in now. We're going to... Right, see you in 10 minutes. Right guys, it's been about 15 minutes since I put the potatoes in there. This should actually be cooked now. Yep, potatoes are cooked. So just the last 2 ingredients to go in here now is going to be our methi. Squash that in the hand of the palms. And the garam masala. 1 teaspoon of garam masala. That goes in there. And there we are. Our lamb with potatoes is now ready. Guys, there we have it. Aloo Gosht, lamb with potatoes. I'm going to plate it up and I'm going to show you what it looks like on a plate. Guys, there we have it. Lamb with potatoes, also known as Aloo Gosht.